With another episode of hearing from the constituencies. This is a program where we hear from wards, constituencies, especially on things to do with the Constituents Development Fund. And today we have the privilege of being joined by two guests. One is Sebastian Kamungu Mansa. He is based on the Copper Belt in Ndola, Kanfinsa. We'll be hearing from him. We brought him specifically because we'd like to hear his experience with applications of the for the CDF funding. But we have Mr. Mwiinde. I hope he will be able to hear me, and you will be able to hear him as well. Mr. Mwiinde is the Ward Development Chairperson for Ward 3, John Howard, in Chawama here in Lusaka. So before we start, I would like to ask my guests to simply say hi to greet the audience, the listeners, the viewers, and then we will start off from there. Let's test whether my guests are able to we are able to hear them and you're able to hear them. Let's go ahead, Mr. Mansa. Sebastian, can you greet the viewers? I think we are muted. Can you unmute yourself? Sebastian, unmute yourself. Mr. Davison Mwiinde, can you unmute yourself? Mr. Mwiinde, can you unmute yourself? Sebastian, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't hear you, but can you go ahead and greet our viewers?
Well, good evening, viewers. Good evening, our listeners. Thank you so much for being invited to the program, sir.
Yeah, I can. I can see that Mr. Mwiinde is muted. Mr. Mwiinde, can you hear me? I don't know if Sebastian. I don't know whether he can hear you, but can you tell him to unmute himself?
Mr. Mwiinde, can you unmute yourself? Mr. Mwiinde, Mwiinde.
Hello?
At each turn, unmute. Can you unmute yourself?
I've done that.
Okay, Mr. Mwiinde, can you hear me? Yeah, we seem to have a problem with Mr. Mwiinde. So I'll pass through you, Sebastian. Can you tell him that I can hear him, but he can't hear me? Ask him to introduce himself to the viewers.
Okay, Mwiinde, Nkwilimba can hear you, even though you are having challenges hearing him. So, could you introduce yourself or greet yourself, greet the viewers and the listeners?
Well, my names are Davison Mwiinde, WDC for Johnny Howard Ward 3, where I am the chairperson of 6 members.
Okay, so you can tell him that he's welcome.
Hello?
And just tell him that I will begin with you, and since
Hello?
he can hear you, he will know that the program is on, and then we'll come back to him through you.
Okay, Mwiinde, Nkwilimba is able to hear you, even though you're having challenges hearing him. So, Bala Tampa with me, and then later on you get connected.
Okay, that is fine.
Okay, so Sebastian, who is Sebastian? Can you just tell us about yourself? Who is Sebastian?
Okay, so my full names are Sebastian Mapanza Kamungu. I am a citizen of Zambia from Bupe Ward. I belong to a clean, green environment, multi-purpose cooperative, and I'm the chairperson, the acting chairperson at the moment.
Would you like to just tell us more about yourself? What was it like growing up?
I come from a family of 7, and both my parents are alive. I belong to a town where my hometown is in Ndeke. Now Ndeke has got old Ndeke, new Ndeke, and the area we call Kuma Plot. So it is like three areas. There's my place in Ndeke. There's across the road is plot. So now, growing up for me is was like having an experience of how it felt to see how other different societies were living at the time. Looking at my background, I'm not coming from a rich family, from a very well-to-do family. I'm coming from a humble background, but the other side was, we saw where they were like the middle class, and then on the other side, Kuma Plot side, those guys were well-to-do. So I was having class, the other class, and what we considered at the time as the higher class. And then I went to Ndeke Primary School. That's where I did my grade 1 up to grade 7. I continued from there, my grade 8 up to grade 9. Then from grade 9, I went to another local school, Malela Secondary School. That's where I did my grade 12, my grade 10 up to grade 12. And I was fortunate enough to have been in grade 8, I was the monitor of my class up to grade 9. And then in grade 12, I became the head boy of my school. And then from there, I went to college. That's where I did my profession. I am a clinical officer by profession. I just completed.
Thank you so much, Sebastian. I didn't hear what did you study at the college?
I studied clinical medicine. I am a clinical officer by profession.
Okay, great. Yeah. So how you said you are the chairperson of your multi-purpose cooperative. When did you hear about your constituency development fund?
We heard about the constituency development funds late last year, December, when probably I personally, I heard it from my uncle, Mr. Pombo. Who happens to be a priest. He, when I heard about, when he spoke about the constituency development fund coming from the government, I personally, it is just something that I heard and didn't pay much attention, not until he had to further explain what it was, and many times he had to explain it, to call me, to call my other friends, explain it to us several times, until one day we said, okay, maybe let's give it a try. Because, why do I say I didn't pay much attention? Because looking at the growing up, we are coming from, like I explained, I'm coming from a very humble background. So looking from where I come from, I grew up looking at life from a different angle. I didn't expect that another person other than my parents would come in and help me, who is unprivileged. So this is the background where I'm coming from. So hearing that the government will be giving such and such a help to the youths and the women, for me, I was not motivated at the time. Not until my uncle, like I said, Father Oscar Pombo, was time and again reminding us, time and again telling us about the cooperative, telling us to listen to the news more oftenly, and we kept listening until one day we said, okay, let's give it a try. And then we went to the counselor, our very own counselor, Mr. Kabuseni, who I am very, very grateful to have met, because it is from him there and then that we started having the experience of what the CDF, the true experience of what the CDF was, because, I mean, he took time. He took time to explain to us what it was, what they were going to do, and I'm sure he gave us so much hope that we even, from that time on, we went ahead and we applied for the CDF. Even more so, after the councillor had explained to us what the CDF was about, myself and my other friend, who I'm sure will be joining us soon, Charles, we said, okay, we have heard about the cooperatives. We are told that we are supposed to go to the registrar of societies at Pakra in the town center. So we went there, the two of us, to inquire more, because we wanted to know what this cooperative was about. So we went to the registrar of society just to inquire, as the councillor had directed us. So we went, we inquired, and they gave us a list of requirements that was required for us to apply for the CDF. And one of the requirements was that we had applied for the cooperative, So we went to the registrar of society. They explained to us the procedure of what was required of us to apply. It was required that we were 15 members. We were supposed to be at least 10 members to form the cooperative. We were required that each one of us would come with the NRC. We were required to pay a certain amount of money. We were also required to have some certain disciplines. So from there on, since at the moment we were just the two of us, we said, okay, what are we going to do in order to have 10 people so that we can apply for the cooperative before we apply for the CDF. So from there, like my uncle had earlier advised us, we went around telling our friends about the cooperative. I had friends, my friend had friends, and then from our neighborhood, we also had young women, young boys that were around, that we went and tried to give a sensitization to them about the CDF. So we went around, we were telling our friends, guys, this is what the government is going to do. They'll be helping us in this way. So let us come together and we can form the cooperative. So we went around, yes. And fortunate enough, our friends came along. So from December 25, if I'm not mistaken, December 25, we said, okay, we are going to have a meeting on the 29th of December, the first meeting, before we could even go and apply for the cooperative. So we invited our friends at my parents' house, 201 Odindeke. So we invited our friends, and at the first meeting we were about 8 of our friends came. There were 4 girls and 4 boys. So we had the meeting, and in the first meeting that we had, we explained to each one of them what the cooperative was and whether they were willing to join the cooperative. And fortunate enough, everybody was willing to join the cooperative. Then from there, we explained to them what was required of them, of us, in order to apply for the cooperative. And they brought the requirements, and we were all required to pay an initial amount of 50 kwacha as entry fee.
Sebastian, the amount of money you are supposed to pay, the 50 kwacha, who said you should pay that money, and what was that money for?
That money was, initially we were supposed to pay, we were advised to pay a 250 kwacha. I will explain how the 250 kwacha was used. The 50 kwacha was the entry fee, the other 100 kwacha was membership fee, and then the other 100 kwacha was the value of the shares. So
oh, I see. So that was for the corporate, for the purpose of being members of the cooperative.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay, okay, I understand. Yeah.
Yes. And this money was going to be used as follows. We were going to, at the registrar of societies, we were required to pay 810 kwacha for them to give us the certificate of us forming the cooperative. So for the
Yeah.
certificate was
Okay. So I think that one that's okay. I understand you had to do that in order to register your multi-purpose cooperative. Now, tell us what after you were registered. Tell us what happened afterwards. You were registered, and what did you want to do, and how did you go about it?
okay. So from the first meeting that we had organized another meeting. We said, okay, we'll be having at least 2 meetings in a week because now we are rushing to register the cooperative. So after we registered the cooperative, we sat down again in a meeting and we asked each member. By then, the number had grown up to 12 members. So we asked everyone to say, okay, guys, we have organized ourselves, but we cannot run without having an interim executive. So from there, we chose an executive and we discussed what we were going to do as a cooperative. First of all, others were suggesting that we could start to do some business ventures like chicken rearing, and others were suggesting recycling plastics. Others were suggesting producing fuel out of plastics. This is a project that we have been doing for quite some time. We could do fish farming. So now, out of all these projects that we had suggested earlier, we said, okay, we are youths, we are young, some of us are graduates, some of us work from home, like watering the garden and all. So we do not have enough funds to do what we are planning on doing. So from there now, we went back to what the councillor had told us earlier on about the CDF funds. So we said, let's go and inquire from our councillor how it is to apply for the CDF funds. Because in order to do what we want to do, yes, we have the manpower, we have the desire, we want to work, but we don't have the funds. So after we had chosen the executive, after we had discussed what we planned on doing, we further on went to the councillor and inquired about the CDF funds. Then from there, the councillor had explained to us that the CDF funds was being given to the constituencies in order to empower the youths like ourselves, the women, young women, to empower them. Those that were maybe, like I explained at the beginning of the interview, I was saying, I grew up from a humble background. We did not have enough money like others had in order to do the things that maybe the business ventures that we wanted to do. So here an opportunity had presented itself. So the council explained to us that this money was initially was funded in order to empower us. So we said, okay, well and good. Let's try to apply for these guys. What do you think? We went back for another meeting, and everybody agreed to apply for the CDF funds. So from there on, now we went to the Kitwe City Council to get the application forms, which was free of charge. From there we got, and we together with the requirements, the NRCs, the business proposals, and from there we went to the ward development chairperson. Together with the councillor, we went to the ward development chairperson and we handed in our proposal for the CDF. Yes.
Okay, so that's where you are now. So what has happened with your proposal? Is it being considered? What are the results of your application?
So after we had applied, because at the city council we were told we were supposed to get the application letter for the CDF. We applied for grants. We were supposed to get the letter for the CDF to the ward development chairperson, and the councillor had been the witness. They signed, and then from there we left it to them. So since then we've been making follow-ups to know whether we were considered or were not considered, whether corrections were going to be made or not. And lucky enough, the councillor did not ask us to go and make the corrections. He said, okay, for now we'll call you back because we need to discuss your proposal, then we'll get back to you. So we did like they told us. So we gave them a few weeks. So the councillor came back to us again, and he told us at their level they had considered our proposal, even though it is at the, as we are speaking, I and a few members from the interim executive, we went to the councillor, and she was telling us that as at now, our proposal is with the Anti-Corruption Commission because they are doing their own research. Whether they want to know whether we haven't applied more than twice, whether we are not same members forming more than 2 cooperatives, so they are doing their work. So that's where we are at the moment.
Just come back again there. Just come back there. What he said? The anti-corruption is doing something. The anti-corruption is investigating.
Yes, we were told that the anti-corruption has to. I'm told it has to pass through the Anti-Corruption Commission. Yes.
Yeah, okay, maybe wait there. I don't know whether Mr. Mwiinde can hear me, but if he can't hear me, ask him on my behalf. Does the aspect of the aspect you have brought of the anti-corruption, getting involved in investigating your group? Ask him, does that make sense from Mr. Mwiinde's perspective?
Mr. Mwiinde, can you get me?
Yes, I'm getting you, yes.
Oh, yes. So Mr. Nkwilimba is saying, is the aspect of the ACC and Corruption Commission investigating us, is it necessary? If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Nkwilimba.
Looking at the process, I think the anti-corruption is not necessary because those who are applying, they are applying to WDC. After applying to WDC, forms passed through the councillor, and also there is a planning officer at the civic center who is looking at the constituents. She had to look at those applications forms and see if there is anything wrong with those forms. Then after that, that's when she was sent the committee, which is looking at what we have applied. I mean, what the people have applied. Because at WDC, sometimes it's difficult to follow the people who have applied. And maybe we can make a mistake by signing that we have approved these forms, while when they go there on top of WDC, they will check and see whether we have done a good job. And at the end, that's when they will approve or reject those forms, because it doesn't mean when you apply, it's automatically you'll be given money. There are people who are specialized on those to check and see the applications of those people who applied.
Thank you, Mr. Mwiinde. Yeah, Sebastian, I would like to concur with what Mr.
Hello?
Mwiinde has said. That
Hello?
aspect, that, okay, you can tell him that I got him and I'm speaking.
Hello?
You can tell Mr. Mwiinde I heard what he said and now I'm commenting on that.
Mr. Mwiinde, Nkwilimba has heard what you said, so he's trying to give a comment.
Yes. Maybe you can help because I'm not getting him.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I'm agreeing with him. The aspect of the anti-corruption, I don't think that is correct. If you were told that the anti-corruption is investigating you to establish that you are a proper register, I don't think that is correct. You have all the papers that are necessary from the registrar of societies, isn't it? You are a registered cooperative. So that is sufficient to tell that you are a legally registered organization. The anti-corruption does not come in any way. And, just to explain further on what Mr. Mwiinde was saying, you see, once you write your proposal, you submit that proposal to the Ward Development Committee. The councillor is part of the Ward Development Committee. So the councillor is not supposed to be dealing with any group alone. When you as a registered group, you can submit your application to the Ward Development Committee. And once the Ward Development Committee reviews it, then they write their minutes, and if they have approved it, then they send it to the Constituency Development Fund Committee at the constituency level. And there are people that review the proposals that have been submitted, and they decide who to recommend further, because ultimately the minister has to sign all the document that is sent to the minister from the constituents. The minister has to approve that list of projects. So it sounds a bit strange that in your case, the anti-corruption is getting involved.
Yes, initially we were taught, like you have explained it well, Mr. Nkwilimba, that we were taught that after our committee had discussed our proposal was further taken to the Constituent Development Fund to be further discussed, and that is the information that the councillor had given us earlier on. It is only last week that he now mentioned the SEC and Corruption Commission.
Sorry, just help me. Maybe try to speak a bit louder as well, because actually I'm just faintly hearing you. At what stage are they saying it has gone to the Anti-Corruption Commission? Was it taken to the Constituency Development Committee?
Yes. After the Ward Development Committee, after they had discussed, we were taught that it had been taken to the Constituency Development Committee. it is only last week that we were told that the Anti-Corruption Commission is now doing their own investigations.
Yeah, I think I'll advise you to see, have you spoken to your member of parliament about this?
No, because we were trying to follow the procedure. We didn't see, we thought maybe for now it is better to follow the procedure. The councillor, as a member of the Ward Development Committee, had advised us of where we are standing as at now. So we said, okay, maybe let's give time to go to the member of parliament.
Have you spoken to the chairperson of the Ward Development Committee?
We spoke to the Ward Development Chairperson only when we were handing in the proposal, but as to give a follow-up after they had discussed it at the Constituent Development Committee level, we haven't followed through.
I'll advise you to go and see the Ward Development Committee chairperson. He is the one who should have signed on your application before the application was sent to the Constituent Development Fund Committee. And it is the chairperson, is the chairperson who is able to let you know how the process is going. I would just advise you to counter check with the chairperson and find out what is going on. Because if the councillor is telling you that your application went to the Constituent Development Committee, the Constituent Development Fund Committee, and then they started the process of investigating you, that doesn't sound right. There's something wrong with that. So I would encourage you to go and see the chairperson of the Ward Development Committee and find out the status of your application. After that, if you are not satisfied with what the chairman is going to, the chairperson will say, you have the liberty to discuss with your member of parliament as to what is going on. And I think it should be Mr. Honorable Kangombe, who is your member of parliament, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I will encourage you, after you have spoken to the chairperson of the Ward Development Committee, if you don't get a satisfactory explanation, I would encourage you to go and see Honorable Kangombe and explain what you have explained to us on this program.
Well,
okay.
Yes.
Okay. So ask for me, Mr. Mwiinde, what is happening in there? Can you just explain how, as the Ward Development Committee, they have organized themselves and what they have done so far in his ward, which is Ward 3 of John Howard in Chawama? Did you hear me? Sebastian, did you hear my question? Pasco, can you hear me? Pasco, can you unmute yourself? Sorry?
Hello?
Is that Pasco?
Hello?
I got your question,
Pasco?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Okay, I was wondering whether you were able to get me. Nkwilimba, can you repeat the question so that I forward it?
I was trying to find out from Mr. Mwiinde what they have done so far in his ward, in as far as the CDF is concerned.
Okay, Okay, Mwiinde, thank you, Nkwilimba. Nkwilimba is asking whether, as to what have you done so far in your ward?
Thank you very much. At the moment, we were receiving applications for bursaries. We were receiving these forms from the community. And on the 19th of this month, April, we have closed and we are forwarding these forms to CDF committee, where they have a technical approval committee. For us, we have received forms from different people within our community in Johnny Howard for loans, for bursaries, all those things, forms have come. We have received them. The only forms that we have approved is for, or a compound is for those who are applying for bursaries. Those one are for skills. Those one we have closed, but for loans, we are still receiving. Thank you.
Okay, he has mentioned about the loans. The guidelines say that you know, for
I don't know.
any applicants to get to apply for loans.
Are you able to get me?
I can hear him. Tell him I heard him, and I'm asking another question.
Yes.
Okay, and the other
has heard, and now he's trying to ask you another question.
Yes.
Yeah, for the loans, the guidelines say that you know, there have to be financial institutions that apply to manage the loans, and then it's also that when the women and the youths are applying for loans, those loans are going to be administered through a financial institution. So what happened in his ward is are there financial institutions that have been permitted to run the loans?
Okay, thank you, Nkwilimba. Mwiinde, Nkwilimba is asking whether there are financial institutions
You are breaking. I'm not getting you.
Did you get me?
No, you can repeat again.
Okay, Nkwilimba, can you repeat the question, please?
You know, for anybody to get a loan, the CDF money to get a loan from CDF, that money has to pass through a financial institution. So, what financial institution has been approved in his ward to manage the loans?
Thank you, Nkwilimba. Mwiinde, Nkwilimba is asking what financial institutions in your ward have been approved to get the loans.
The institutions that have been allowed to get the loan at the moment, as I have already said, that we have just received application forms from the community or from cooperatives, even for bursaries. At the moment, there is no institution that have been approved to finance our programs here in our ward. For now, we are still working on this and put them together and forward them to CDF.
Okay,
First, you asked what we have done. We had meetings with the committee and also with the community to find out, according to the name, it is Ward Development Committee, looking at what we can do or what people want to do in their community. And we had a meeting with the people. We have the plan of what people want in their community. So those things have been done, and we are submitting the things to the CDF so that they can work on it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mwiinde. So how has the response been? Are people happy that there's this CDF fund? You can ask him for me, Sebastian.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Did you hear me, Sebastian?
No.
Yeah, I was saying, ask him, how has the response been? Are people happy that there is this opportunity to benefit from the CDF?
Thank you, Nkwilimba. Nkwilimba is asking whether there have been.
Yeah, it's a challenge. Pascal, can you hear me? Unmute yourself. Pascal, unmute yourself.
Yes, Mr. Nkwilimba, I can get you loud and clear.
Oh yeah, with you, I can actually hear you very clearly. Can you ask Mr. Mwiinde the question I asked?
Mr. Mwiinde, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Mr. Nkwilimba is asking that how has the response been in your community that there is this opportunity for CDF funds?
Okay, the response is okay. It's people, although some people they are still doubting, but we have a lot of people who have applied, and some are still coming, although we have closed. Maybe the information reached them a bit late. So because of that, they are still coming, but we have closed. As you know that the government is funding quarterly. So in this quarter, it was closed on 19th. So we are just waiting maybe to another quarter, but the response is good.
Okay, just ask him if there's anything else you'd like to say about his word, or what you'd like to tell people in his word.
Okay, Mr. Mwiinde, can you get me?
Yes, I'm getting you.
Yeah, Mr. Nkwilimba is asking that what else can you like to say about
what
your word?
What else would you like to say, and what would you like to tell people?
Well,
in
one
his
say whatever we have planned with the community, we are seeing that there will be development in our community. Although there are other things that we wanted, like our area here, we don't have a school. We have only a small clinic. We wanted to do some of those things, but because of lack of land, we are not going to have such a project. But we are working together with the people, and the response is good.
Okay, you can thank Mr. Mwiinde for me. Yeah, you can thank Mr. Mwiinde for me, but he should still hold on. He should be there. I will move to Pascal to just ask him additional questions.
Thank you, Van Nkwilimba. Mwiinde, are you still there? Mwiinde, are you still there? Hello, Mwiinde, are you still there?
Okay, we may have lost him. So at this point, can I just ask Pasco to just add whatever he wants to say, considering what Sebastian has shared and the experiences you have had so far with your application. I would like Pasco to have an opportunity to say something.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nkwilimba, for the question. Just to add on what Sebastian has said, I'm just praying and hoping that this thing comes to light, because this is the only opportunity I've seen that can at least boost us in our dreams. I hope and believe that this will happen for us. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very encouraged that young people like yourselves, you can organize yourselves and, you are not afraid of doing things like garbage collection. You have a vision to fulfill, and I can only hope that you get the funding that you need to start that business going. But I am really, really surprised that your issue, people are talking about anti-corruption investigating your group. That is not supposed to be the case. You have legal papers, you have legal documents that show that you are a registered cooperative. And all you need to do is what you did, to apply for a grant through the Ward Development Committee. And if that application passed through the hands of the Ward Development Committee, there should be minutes that show that your proposal was discussed. There should be evidence that your proposal was passed on to the constituents development to the constituents development fund committee. And I am surprised that if it went up to that level, and at that level they started talking about anti-corruption, there is something seriously wrong about that. And I will again repeat what I said. You go and find out from the chairman of the World Development Committee where your process is. They shouldn't be talking about the anti-corruption issue here. I think if they continue talking about the anti-corruption, I would like to hear from you. You let me know what happens after you have consulted the chairperson for the World Development Committee. And also, as I said, if you are not satisfied with the answer that you get from the chairperson, you have the right to go and see Honorable Kangombe so that you can explain your situation. And you better do it quickly, because this money is being released in quarters. Quarter one funding has been released, and there may be some projects that have already been approved. Thereafter, they will be waiting for quarter two funds. I can see new people that have joined us here. Charles Mwamba, would you like to say something, or ask a question, or make a comment? Unmute yourself, please.
Hello, hope you can get me loud and clear.
Yes,
unfortunately,
I can.
Unfortunately, I just joined the interview late. Some few challenges. Just concerning the same program, my question would just be maybe like what assurance can we have, like as in we're going to have a chance of getting this fund, because we've been hearing that they've misled the reason this fund like in quotas, but to our part as a cooperative, we've made all the necessary requirements, and yet there's not been like any sort of information like to convince us to say that we're going to be considered as well, despite having all the necessary documents. Thank you.
Are you part of this group where we are discussing?
Yes, I'm part of actually I'm an interim secretary.
Oh, I see. So anyway,
Yes.
yeah, I think you heard my last comment. It sounds totally strange that if your application went up to the Constituent Development Fund Committee, and then they are talking about anti-corruption. That is a strange thing to happen, and as far as I'm concerned, it is not normal. So you guys, you need to get your courage, go and see the World Development Chairperson, and let him explain exactly what's going on. And if you are not satisfied, seek the help of your member of parliament.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, who else is in here?
Hello?
Hello, yes?
Hello?
Hello, help me, Pascal. Is that Mr. Mwiinde who is saying hello?
Yes, I think Mr. Mwiinde wants to say something.
Okay, let him go ahead. Let him say something.
Yeah, I was not getting you. I thought maybe there is a network problem.
You can explain to him that I was talking to Pascal and Charles.
Yes, Mwiinde Nkwilimba was talking to Clement and Charles, but earlier he had thanked you for joining the meeting.
Yeah, great. Okay, so I think we will come to the close of this program. It's a pity that we are not able to get Mr. Mr. Mwiinde was not able to hear me, but still we are able to pass through Pascal and Sebastian in order for Mr. Mwiinde to participate in this program. So again, just thank him. And when this program ends, don't go away immediately. We'll have a bit more time to chat after this. So let him know about that before I conclude the program.
All right, Nkwilimba. Mwiinde Nkwilimba is saying immediately after the program has ended, don't log out because we are going to continue the conversation.
Yeah, great. So again, I would just like to thank all of you. Sebastian, who is is it Ndola or Kitwe? Is Ndola, isn't it?
Kitwe, yes, Kitwe.
You are in Kitwe?
Yes, Kitwe.
Ah, okay. So I would like to thank Sebastian from Kitwe and also Charles Mamba and Pasco, who are members of a cooperative there that was formed, and they have applied for a grant through the Constituent Development, through the World Development Committee. But as you heard, they are having some challenges there. And you see, this is the reason why we started this program, so that we can learn what is happening on the ground, at ward level, at the constituency level, and we can help each other. And like, if you face challenges the way this group is facing challenges in Kitwe, it's good to come forth and we can discuss that, and then we can advise each other on how you could try to have your problem resolved. But Sebastian and your friends, please know that I spoke to the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Local Government and the Rural Development about your issue, and he promised that he was going to ask Honorable Kangombe to see if he can do something about this. So that's why I'm saying, do feel encouraged. If you don't get a clear answer from the chairperson of the Ward Development Committee, please find out from the office of the MP so that you can explain what is happening. And you need to do it quickly because these resources, they come out on a quarterly basis. I see no reason why, you cannot be supported. I know that it's not every proposal that can be approved, but the way you explained your proposal, it seems to make sense. The council has already given you an opportunity, to do your business. And if you are able to get a grant from the CDF, I'm sure you'll be able to fulfill the requirement that is required from the council for you to be able to hire a van or a truck to be able to start collecting garbage. So be encouraged. Don't lose hope. Keep pushing. Sometimes things don't come easily, but please don't lose hope. So thank you for attending, for appearing on this program. And to the rest of the viewers out there, the listeners, we thank God that we're able to have this program, and we'll end at this point. And we look forward to another program next week on Saturday, starting at 20 hours. Bye for now, and may God bless.